Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday once again, and here we are at the man cave, ready to do our Friday night thing. Jeff's hiding out in here with us again too, so let me bring Jeff online. Good evening, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hope you're well.
Well, happy,
And
happy, happy.
yeah, in there too,
Well,
Tanya.
Tanya.
Hey guys, Jeff, I want to see your shirt.
Oh
Oh,
boy,
that's awesome.
I think
This,
Tanya's going to
this is
need one
our,
of
our
those.
tradition 30 days of Christmas teas.
Oh
I
boy.
love it.
Well, we're going to kick off just like we always do with the drink, and I'm going to admit something to you guys. I was chatting with Andrew. I think he's probably here with me. Let me get back over to the comments. Andrew was going to have some Jack Daniels single barrel proof tonight, and I got my. I'm not going to wimp out. I'm gonna do it. I was This stuff right here, guys, is Jack Daniels single barrel proof. Yeah, Anya, I need you to shut the door up there. I'm getting an echo out of your thing again here. This stuff is 133.7 proof. It's stout. And the first time I got into this, I couldn't handle it. It was just too much alcohol. Tonight, we're gonna have some more. We're gonna get back into this. This is a bottle that I bought at the distillery when Tanya and I visited there a little over a year ago. So I'm gonna pour a little of this, and I've got a glass of water here on hand if I need to tame this a little bit. But Andrew's in here now. So Andrew, I just I didn't chicken out. I decided I sat here and I said I'm not going to drink that, and I know I had already told you I would. So cheers, everybody! Happy Friday, and I'm a novice at the world of bourbon and whiskey, and I haven't trained my palate yet to handle some of the barrel proof stuff. I've got an Elijah Craig barrel proof over here that's uh, well, it's not out. It's not quite as hot as this Jack Daniels. This has the same flavor complexity that the single barrel select has. It's just got a lot more alcohol in it. So I've got a little bit of water here. I've been told that you just want to, give it a couple of drops of water to open it up. So anyway, I don't want to ramble about that. Tanya, what are you having tonight?
I'm living on the wild side with some ginger ale.
Oh boy, ginger ale. Jeff, you drinking with us tonight?
Oh, yeah. Drinking some blended scotch.
Some blended scotch. I got the Scapa out earlier this week, and or did I do Scapa last Friday night? I don't remember what I did last Friday night. It's been a long time ago. So, Peter, glad you could make it from Reno. Okay. Logan said he's going to pull out his barrel proof rye. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it makes a difference. Giving it just a tiny bit of water. It may still need just a little bit more. This stuff's uh this stuff's just a little heavy for me. Yeah, I'm a wimp when it comes to some of these these barrel proofs. This stuff is it tastes delicious. It really does, but I'm not far enough along in this craft yet to where the alcohol sting of something with that much alcohol in it doesn't give me a hard time. So we'll work on that slowly as we go. Tanya, I'm going to bring you back up a little bit later. Thanks for helping us out here. Let's see here. Jeff, you've been traveling some this week. Where you been?
Oh, mountains in North Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I have committed a sin.
What was that?
Didn't go to Atlanta Grill Company.
You didn't.
No,
Well, Jeff, you and I both have been there enough that forgiveness will be shared. I'm pretty
I bet it
sure.
will. I'll be there in 3 weeks again. So
Yeah, I'm going to get down there in December. I don't know uh, what day I'm going to go yet. I don't know when. Tanya's got some time off. I don't. We may road trip north a little bit during the Christmas week. We may go up to Ohio. Go up to, I don't remember which town that zoo is. We're going. It's not Cleveland. It's I don't remember. We're thinking about, we want to go to a zoo up there and visit. So we may road trip, but I'll probably get down to Atlanta Grill Company sometime. I'd like to get down there and just visit, you know. But you didn't buy anything. You didn't go, so you didn't buy anything.
nope. The wallet is
You've
just
been
as full as when I left as when I got home.
so you've been yeah, Columbus. That's where we're going, to the Columbus Zoo. Uh, thanks. That's Logan said he just ordered the Shun Kiritsuki from Atlanta Grill Company this morning on a good deal. Yeah, I noticed they sent out, Atlanta Grill Company sent out an email this morning. Wesley from Peoria, glad you could make it. They had a bunch of their Kai Pro knives and knife sets on sale. Kai is the company that actually makes Shun. Shun is the higher end of the two, but let me tell you guys, I've got a handful of these Kai knives, and for utility and barbecue, those things are awesome. In fact, their their cleaver, the meat cleaver from the Kai line is so nice that I've got two of those, and that's my go-to when I need a cleaver. I don't use a cleaver that often, but oddly enough, what the most uh, common time I get my cleavers out, I'll get two of them out when I'm chopping pulled pork. You know, it just makes really, really quick work
Yep.
of tearing up some pulled pork. I'll lay pork out on one of my cutting boards that I don't worry as much about gouging into, or on my plastic board, and I'll just go to town on it with that. And Mike, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Mike's in Auckland, New Zealand. What's the time? What time is it on Saturday in Auckland, Mike? How far? How many time zones am I away from that? But yeah, it's here in North America, or in the United States. It's Thanksgiving this week, and there's been a lot of turkey cooking going on. 2:30 p.m. So yeah, that's about as far away as you can get from us. That's, let's see, 8:30. It's 8:30 p.m. here, so that's six. That's a long. I don't know. So yeah, but yeah, they're a day ahead of us. So Sharon ordered an arrow garden. You're welcome, Sharon. Right before you sent that message this morning, I had told my wife that I had seen the arrow gardens on sale on Black Friday. My arrow garden's pumping over here. I've got basil, oregano, thyme, and parsley growing in that. So I'll have all my winter herbs going fresh. And I really love it. I'm going to buy another one where I'll have a different one that I can do my seed starting with in the spring. I'm going to get that Air Garden 360. It's less expensive, and I can still get all my seed starting done in that. Jeff, we took Tanya and I took the key lime into the garage, and I'm hoping that we can keep it alive over the winter. What We'll keep water in it for sure, but when we have our winters here typically aren't harsh, and we'll have days where I can take it out and set it in the sunshine. So that's what I want to do. I want to see if we can keep that key lime alive during the winter. And as it grows, as if we can keep it alive, I'm going to transfer it into a larger pot that we can move in and out as necessary. But yeah, key limes are quite available, I guess, in your area. You got some in your yard, right?
I got two trees in my yard, so I got them just about all year round.
Yeah. So, do you get a big harvest of key limes off of them every year?
Uh, it seems like it's every other year that you get the
Hmm.
big harvest. I don't know what it is. It's like alternates. So, 1 year you get a huge harvest, the next year, not so much.
Right. All right. Well, I wanted to run through a couple of simple cook stuff I did this week, and then I want to get into talking about Christmas cooking because I want to spend some time talking about Christmas cooking for sure. So let me bring my photos up. Earlier this week, I prepared green beans a way that I've not done them before, and I'm on to something here that I really love. I think this is one of the best batch of green beans I've ever made. I picked up a bag of organic green beans at the market, and I brought them home. I cut the ends off of some of them. They didn't look perfect, so I kind of trimmed them up a little bit, and then I put them in the steamer, gave them just 10 minutes or so of steam, and then I took them off and I emptied them into a stainless steel mixing bowl, and I just tossed these guys in a little bit of olive oil, and then I spread them out on a baking sheet that I had lined with parchment paper, and then I seasoned those. And this is a bit confusing. I know my picture showed that River Street Seaboard, but I actually seasoned these green beans with Lane's barbecue scorpion steak. I just shook that on there, as you can see in this picture, and then I put them in my Breville Smart Oven under the broiler to kind of blister them up a little bit. And these things, guys, were off the hook. They were delicious. I wish I had left them in a little bit longer. You can see that some of these have a little bit of browning on them. I want to get a little bit more of that on those next time I do these. Have you ever tried green beans this way, Jeff?
Yep, they come out really, really good.
Do you let them char up a bit more than that?
Just a little bit. I use the vegetable basket on the Kamado. So it's that wire basket, for vegetables. It's not a Kamado Joe product. It's some off brand, but
Right.
it works real well because you can just flip
Okay.
them back and forth, and you can get a really nice blister on them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those flat baskets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do fish in those too, can't you?
Yep.
Yeah, that might be cool. Doing it over direct flame. That's a possibility. I want to try asparagus with this exact same technique.
Works just as well.
Yeah, I bought some asparagus, but I screwed around this week and didn't get my testing done. I wanted to work with some asparagus. I bought asparagus, uh, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts to play with some different cooking techniques. Tanya said she's had enough green beans for a while. I've been doing this keto thing, and green beans have been kind of one of my go-to veggies, and I've got to work that out a little bit. I want to do some stuff with some different vegetables so I don't bore Tanya to death with what I'm cooking. But also, I served that with some pork loin chops. I took those pictures out. I didn't want to discuss that tonight because this pork loin, I cooked it a different way than I normally do. They were delicious, but I wasn't happy with the way I brought that pork loin to life. But the results were perfect. I finished this in my Anova precision oven in the sous vide mode, and or actually it was just in the steam mode. It wasn't in the sous vide mode, but these things were super delicious. I cooked them up to an internal temperature of about 142, which is about just north of where you need to be to get all the pink out of them. And they were delicious. They were super juicy, super tender. I made a second round of the keto cheese crackers this week, and I brought it inside and did it. I did this in the smart oven also, but I did it at 400 degrees with no steam, and I went for 8 minutes. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. And then I took them out and kind of drained them on the paper towel a little bit to get a little bit of the oil off. And these cut down for me just fine, but 8 minutes using my cast iron baking dish didn't crisp these up quite enough. I'm going to have to do it again and let them go a little longer. I'm trying to find, the sweet spot to get the right amount of crunch. This consistency would have been perfect for the taco shells because these would bend. So if I had done these in round style, they would have been up perfectly for a taco shell. So I'm still working that out, but they're good. We talked about those last week, I think, or was it the
Yep.
week before? I've got the right amount of water here now in this barrel proof. This is good. It has a beautiful flavor. I just can't quite handle it right off the right out of the bottle as is. Cindy said they made Parmesan crisp for us yesterday. Yeah, I haven't tried it with Parm yet. This I grate a little bit of Parm on top of that cheddar before it goes in there, but I hadn't done it solely with Parm. But you can take Parm like that and just get a cast or not. I wouldn't do cast iron. You could do a just a non-stick skillet and heat that thing up and drop that in there, and it makes those little crisps. I learned what those were back when Chick-fil-A used to have their tomato soup, which I don't think they sell anymore. They came with a little pack of those Parmesan crisps that were delicious. So yeah, Cindy, that's a good idea. A quick gadget update for the week. I'm getting ready to do a video review on this knife sharpener. I bought this sometime back in the spring, and I've played with it enough now that I'm pretty happy with how this thing works. And it's inexpensive. It's like $50. Well, it's inexpensive compared to most knife sharpeners. This one's $50. It's from a Work Sharp, and it works on the same principles, Jeff, as the Wicked Edge and as that Edge Pro. The one I sent you.
Yep.
This one works almost identically to the Edge Pro. It's the same sort of setup, but it's smaller. And what happens here is these multiple pieces, and you put these together, and this is what your device looks like. This piece down here is where you hold the knife in. And here's a picture of it with the knife in. And what happens is you use this stone bar and you go back and forth on the knife and work your way down. And after you've done one edge and formed a little burr on it, this thing rotates. This knife holder rotates, and you swing the handle over to the other side, and then you do the same thing. You work on the other side of the knife with it, and it's got precision angle adjustments here where you can adjust anywhere between 15 and 30 degrees to work on the blades. And the stone that comes with this is a 3-part stone. It's got a 320 grit for its coarse option. The medium option is a 600 grit, and then it's got a ceramic piece here that if I had to guess at what the grit is on this based on some other stones that I have, I would say it's probably in the 1600 to 2000 grit range. It's more of a polishing stone than a sharpening stone. So I've been really happy with this thing. So I'm gonna make a Man Cave Meals video demo and review of this guy because this thing only has one drawback that I can see, and the drawback of it is the base of this thing. It sits low enough that when you've got a blade in it, like this blade right here that's in it in this picture is a it's about 4 or 5 inches, 5.5 inches, maybe. It's not a very long blade, but this 6.5 inch boning slash fillet knife is longer. And when you want to rotate that, you have to pick the device up because there's enough blade sticking out on the underside that it will hit when you try to turn it. I would really love this thing if this holder was up about 2 or 3 inches higher than it is here. The workaround for that, I've got this sitting on a cutting board. If I would pull it to the front edge of the cutting board, that cutting board's 2 inches thick, so it would probably give me enough clearance to make that turn on the blade without having to rotate it. Jeff, have you had any opportunities to play with that Edge Pro?
Yep.
How
Does
do
a
you
good
like
job.
it? Yeah,
I like it. It does a good job.
it's you can see what I showed you here, that it's the exact same philosophy as the Edge Pro, but the minor advantage this guy has on the Edge Pro is that the knife holder turns in that holder. On the Edge Pro, you have to take the knife out, flip it over, and put it back in the holder, right?
I think it flipped.
It's been so long since I've used the Edge Pro, I can't remember.
I
But I
think
know
it flipped, if I remember correctly.
the Edge Pro is a lot more expensive system than this, but the Edge Pro also gives you a lot finer control of your stone grit. You can, as you know, that Edge Pro's got the diamond tapes with it
Hmm.
on that kit, and you can put a mirror polish on a knife bevel with that. Janice, I did not. I ordered that from Amazon. They might have it at Smoky Mountain. I don't remember seeing it in there, but then again, I wasn't looking for sharpeners when I went in there. Brian, the Edge Pro, or the Edge Pro, has a leather strop option. The Wicked Edge has leather strop options, but this Work Sharp does not. That particular Work Sharp, you've only got the three. You've got a 320, a 600, and then that ceramic honing stone, which is like probably close to a 2000 grit. Hank, yeah, Lansky makes stuff similar to this, but I think this one's nicer than any of the Lanskys I've seen so far. It costs a little bit more than I think the Lanskys do also. Jeff, did that one you ordered ever show that?
Nope.
No.
And it took me forever to get my money back on that thing, let me tell you.
So Jeff ordered one that was it that Rookson that I can't
Uh,
remember. You told me what it was.
dang.
It was something coming out of China direct, right?
Yeah, I forget the name of it. It's everybody was buying them. I decided to
Yeah,
give it a whirl, and it somehow got lost when it came into the port of LA.
yeah. Peter's asking what happened to your Christmas tree.
The little metal one that was sitting behind me, that's packed up to go to North Georgia here in 3 weeks.
It's going out for Christmas. Are you going up there for Christmas, Jeff?
Yeah, they're taking the whole family up.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's my gadget for the week. And then today, I had some real fun today. Uh, when I was at Mom's for Thanksgiving yesterday, I resurrected the deep fryer that we had in the basement at Mom's house. This thing's been around for somewhere between 20 and 25 years. It's the oldest piece of equipment in my cooking arsenal. And my dad bought this thing a long time ago. He was going to deep fry some turkeys, and he did. I think he did it once. I remember one time he deep fried turkey in this because he did one for himself and he did one for a buddy at the same time, and I don't recall him ever doing it again. I did some with it. I did some, and I also used this for some home brewing projects a few times before I upgraded my beer brewing equipment. But this thing's still around. It's been in the basement at Mom's for many years. So I fished it out of the basement yesterday when we were at Mom's for lunch and brought it home with me. And I had an extra turkey that I had been thawing. And my nephew uh, got a turkey from the company he works for Christmas, and he wanted me to cook it for him, but it's still frozen. And I said, I've got one about the same size that's in my refrigerator that's thawed out. I said, let me cook that one. I'll give you that one, and I'll just take yours. So I got my thawed turkey out this morning, and we went to work on it. The first thing I did, I melted this. And by the way, guys, my favorite way after all the turkeys I've ever cooked in the Kamado world and the grill world in general, my favorite way to cook a turkey is to deep fry it. And it's been a long time since I've done one because, you know, I'm a grill guy now, but I got the deep fryer out today. I melted a pound of butter. This is unsalted butter. And into that butter, I put some fresh thyme and some fresh oregano, and I chopped up a shallot, tossed it in there. I smashed 3 or 4 cloves of garlic and put that in there, and I let that steep for about 15 or 20 minutes at a very low simmer after I got all the butter melted. And then I strained all of it out, and this was my injection. I injected every bit of this into this 17 and a half pound turkey. I just worked my way over both breasts, the legs, the wings, the thighs, everywhere I could make an injection of that stuff. I put it in there. And here's what it looks like when you're done doing that. The hot butter, you know, tries to ooze back out sometimes of the holes where you've injected it, and it solidifies because that bird's 35 degrees inside, and it doesn't take it long for that butter to harden back up. But I've put it on its stand there to go into the deep fryer. And yes, I was playing the safety game. I took my fire extinguisher out just in case. And I made also, guys, I made video of this. So whenever I get around to editing this video is going to show up on the Man Cave Meals Facebook page and YouTube channel. But 3 gallons of oil, and I wasn't planning on reusing this oil, so I bought vegetable oil. But let me tell you, even at vegetable oil, I spent way more money on the oil than I did on the turkey. That's $24 worth of oil to get 3 gallons in there. And I heated the oil up to about well, this is a little video. I heated the oil up to 375 and got my turkey in there. And you have to dry that turkey off. You don't want any water or moisture at all on that thing, or you can cause that oil to boil over. That's one of the reasons this is dangerous. The water that's in that turkey is what creates that bubbling. And if there's too much of it, or if there's any ice left inside of there, it makes a mess. So, but anyway, when I was done, this is what I got. This is that bird out of the oil. I covered this guy up with foil and let it rest for about 20 minutes before I went to work on it and broke it down. And since this turkey is for my nephew and my mom's going to have some of this also, I went ahead and broke it down completely. And I taste tested a little bit of this. I had some of the thigh meat. I took the bones. I took the breast and the thighs off of the bones. I took the breast completely off the carcass, and I took the bone out of the thighs. I left the bone in the legs and the wings, but I vacuum sealed all that, and it's in my refrigerator, and I'll probably deliver it back down to my mom's tomorrow on my way to work. So, Jeff, have you deep fried before on the turkeys?
Yep. Used to do it all the time, but it just got so expensive getting the peanut oil.
Well, it is. I agree. Peanut oil costs even more.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest peanut oil I saw when I was looking, trying to decide what I was going to buy to do this, Academy Sports had a 3-gallon jug of peanut oil for $40. Now, peanut oil is durable enough that you can reuse it. You can, a lot of people do that. When you're done with the cook, you can cool the oil, you can strain it through cheesecloth and put it back in its container, and it'll keep for some amount of time. I don't know how long. I don't know what the keep time on that is. I think it all also depends on how close you took the oil to its smoke point. But peanut oil has a lot higher smoke point on it than this vegetable oil that I used here. So
Plus, it holds up better if you put it in the refrigerator. But who can store
yeah,
3 gallons of peanut oil in the refrigerator all the time?
right. Anurag said Walmart has peanut oil for $11 a gallon year round. I'll have to, next time I get ready to do this, I might check that. But the next time I do this, I'm going to do more than one turkey where the actual cost of the oil comes down per turkey a little bit. I might do multiple turkeys in a day because this turkey only took, I actually cooked it longer than I wanted to. I, when I was doing the reading, I had to refresh my memory on what the recommendations are, but they recommend having your oil at 350. And one of the things is when you got your oil at 350, when you drop that cold turkey in there, the oil temp comes down to 250 pretty quickly. And it takes, even on my burner, it took 30 minutes to get that oil temp back to the 350 to 375 range. So the recommendations are anywhere from 3 to 3.5 minutes per pound, which means that this 17.5 pound bird should have taken 50 to 60 minutes. And you guys who have watched me cook turkeys before know I like to get mine off when the breast meat's at about 150. So I said, I'm going to pull that out at 40 minutes and check the temperature in it and see where it is. And when I pulled it out at 40 minutes, I was already at 160 in the breast. So I went ahead and pulled it. The other thing is in theory, I don't know what the reality of this situation is. You can cook with this technique possibly a little longer. You can take that breast meat up a little hotter on a deep fry than you would normally do it on the grill, because I think the moisture retention is better with this process. I don't know. $50. Todd says he got $50 for 4.5 gallons. So yeah, it's still up. I know it's up. It's crazy. And I'm not so sure that the prices don't go up this time of year. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but this is my favorite way to do turkeys. I have not tried doing a chicken this way, and I'm sure it's good, but I need a smaller pot. What I would really like to do is find a way. What you saw there when I did this, that first picture I showed you of my uh, of the whole kit. This guy right here. This thing's all stainless steel, and this kettle here is stainless steel. But the kettle that I actually cooked in today is an aluminum one, and this guy right here is it's a little bit smaller kettle than the one that came with this burner. And I chose to use the smaller kettle so I could maximize my oil and get the turkey mostly submerged with uh, just 3 gallons of oil. That other pot's bigger, and I would have had to have a little bit more oil to submerge that. So this pot right here is one that I bought uh, from Academy Sports, and it was really cheap, and it came with the insert to use it for like a crab boil also, but it didn't come with a burner. I think I may have paid $20 or $25 for that kit, but I've got, the last time I used this, I used it on my propane, my Camp Chef propane outdoor stove, and cooked that way, but it works. And like I said, it's one of my favorite ways to try it. And Peter, I don't have an air fryer. I think an air fryer would probably get me close to this. I just haven't spent the money on one because that's another one of those things. It's sort of like my deep fry system here, but it's a one trick pony, and I don't have a whole lot of one trick ponies. That air fryer, my Breville Smart Oven toaster oven here has an air fry feature, but it's obviously not big enough to hold the turkey. It's not even. I might could get a chicken in there, but I'd have to have a drip pan under it. So, Jeff, do you have an air fryer?
Nope.
Uh, Tanya doesn't have one, and I don't think my mom has one either. My sister's got an air fryer, and I haven't seen my sister check in here tonight. So anyway, I think that's the end of my that's the end of my pictures I wanted to talk about for cooking. So we will move on to talk about cooking for Christmas. Okay, guys, I need your feedback here. First of all, the reason I wanted to talk about Christmas cooking is I've done hams and I've done prime ribs. I've done videos. Those are two of the more popular big proteins for Christmas. And some people do turkey at Christmas as well. So I've got time. I'm going to be able to make about somewhere between 4 and 6 more cooking videos between now and Christmas. And I want to get your feedback. I want you to tell me what you'd like to see. Don't tell me prime rib and don't tell me ham. I'm going to leave those out for now because I've done several of those. I am going to do a new ham video maybe for next Christmas because I would need to have started on this already for it to get done in time. But I like to take a pork picnic, and you guys, if you're not familiar with what a pork picnic is, it's the upper arm piece of the pig below the butt. It's the humerus bone instead of the scapula bone. That piece of meat makes an excellent ham, and you can cure that guy in about 5 to 7 days in a wet brine, and it makes a really good ham. Jeff, have you ever had ham made from the picnic?
No, I've never made it like that.
I've made it before, and I need to go back and look. I think I made a Kamado Joe video on it. I don't remember. I've made so many videos. I'll have to go back and look and see if I made that video. But I think I made a video for that on the Kamado Joe channel. Brian says goose. And I probably could pull that off. I've got a place here to make some notes. So I'm going to add goose. A goose is the first thing that's going to make our list. I typically can buy goose around here this time of year. Oddly enough, Walmart might have a goose. And duck, I see the duck comment there. So I've done duck and I've done goose before. I've done videos on both with Kamado Joe, but those I need to update those. I need to do them and do a better job than I did on those previous ones. But I probably won't do both. I'm probably going to do one or the other. I actually have a duck in my refrigerator right now, but I'm going to break that duck down and I'm going to do something just with the duck breasts. And I don't know what gammon is, Honor Rock. I'm not familiar with that, but so duck and goose is on the list. So I will consider one of those. Cindy, I have not done paella yet. Is paella a Christmas thing with some people? Is that Jeff, have you ever done paella on one of your grills?
Oh yeah, I've done paella several times on the Kamado. Comes out great.
I don't have a great pan to do paella in. I've got that big 14-inch Smithy cast iron pan, but I think the cast iron pan is probably a little thick to pull. I might be able to pull off
No,
paella in that.
that's what I use. That cast iron pan that I showed you from Academy Sports, that big 18-inch one. That's
Yeah,
what I use for paella. It does a great job. You get that nice crust on your rice.
yeah. Okay, Honorog says it's like a ham, but it's a fresh leg. I've done one of those. I have done. It's on the Kamado Joe channel. It's a fresh ham. It's an uncured ham, and I honestly, it was good, but I didn't like it because first of all, it's nothing like a ham. It doesn't taste like ham because it's not cured. To me, taste and texture wise, it tasted more like a pork loin, even though I brined it. I brined it for an extended period of time. I did not. I don't know if I'd do that again. I need to experiment with it. But if you, Anurag, if you'll look on the Kamado Joe video channel and if you do a search for ham or for fresh ham, you'll find the video I did on that, and it was a big one. So, uh, Sharon says crown roast. Crown roast would. Let me put that on my list. Uh, those are expensive if I can find one. That's a crown roast would be a good crisp. One of the things I want to do. Let me bring this up. I did beef Wellington on Kamado Joe's channel. Also, I haven't done a beef Wellington on the Atlanta Grill Company channel. But what I think I want to do, I really want to do this. I want to do a pork Wellington, and I want to make a pork Wellington with pork loin. And I don't know. You could call it a poor man's Wellington because I can get a piece of pork loin big enough to make that Wellington for $5. What would it cost me, Jeff, to get a 2 to 3 pound segment of a pork loin?
Oh yeah,
It's cheap,
yeah.
and
Pork is cheap.
yeah, and I've got some ideas about how the pork Wellington would be. Instead of a Duxelle with mushrooms, I would do something with fruit. I would make a fruit compote or a even you could use something as simple as a marmalade in there. What I would want to do is I would want to sear the outside of this pork loin just like you would do the Chateaubriand piece that you're going to make beef Wellington with. I would want to sear that and get a nice sear on it. And then I just toss it back in the refrigerator while I got everything else going. And uh, I would lay out prosciutto. I would stick with the prosciutto, and on that prosciutto, I would smear either whatever kind of fruit compote I might make, or I might even use something as simple as orange marmalade. Fruit and pork, you know how that works, Jeff. So
Yep.
I could take something like I could take cherry pie filling and really mash it up good to where there's you macerate, I think is the term I'm looking for there. Uh, and get it evened out and consistency and spread that on there and then wrap that pork loin in that and then wrap it in the puff pastry and I bought one of the little rollers to make that lattice puff pastry where I could really make it look nice, do an egg wash on it, throw it back on the grill, and then cook that and let the puff pastry cook while we get the internal temperature of that pork up to where it needs to be and end up with a pork Wellington. That's something I want to try. I think I'm going to add that to the list here. Pork Wellington. And Tom says a leg of lamb. Uh, I would have no problem with that. In traditional terms, the lamb is something that more comes around at Easter. I don't know if people cook lamb at Christmas. Mark, I got you covered there. I am going to update my pecan pie. I've done a pecan pie. I haven't done one on the Kamado Joe channel, or I did one on the Kamado Joe channel, but I'm going to do another one. That's already on my list. I'm going to take my pecan pie recipe to the next level. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to update it. Or actually, I can't really claim that that last pecan pie I did was my recipe. I used a King Arthur recipe, or uh, it was based on a King Arthur recipe. I don't. It wasn't my own recipe, but I'm gonna take what I did then and I'm gonna update it and I'm gonna add some things to it. One of the things I want to do is, first of all, I don't eat pecan pie because I don't eat pecans, but I want to bring some. I want to bring some fruit to that. I want to bring some citrus. I think I want to bring some orange into the picture here, and it's going to be in the form of something like Grand Marnier and orange zest. Do you eat pecan pie, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Does it sound good? Does that sound good if we brought orange to the picture?
I think that would add another flavor profile to it. Yeah.
But would it be good?
Well, John, there's only one way to find out.
Well, yeah. Well, see, I won't know because, well, I could eat. I would eat everything about the pecan pie except for the pecans. So, I could taste it all to that point. I'm not a nut person, and guys, I'm weird in that aspect. Andrew says smoked salmon's a Christmas thing. Uh, I could do smoked salmon. Jeff, I would need to roll the cold smoker out and do a cold smoked salmon.
Yep.
Uh,
You got plenty of real estate in that thing.
yeah, I know. Let me add smoked salmon to the list. What else, guys? What would you love to see done prior to Christmas as a main course item? Eric, I thought about bourbon, but when I started thinking about orange, I decided maybe not bourbon, and maybe I could use bourbon and then orange zest, but I think Grand Marnier or a triple sec even would complement that a little bit, or even orange juice. You wouldn't even have to use liquor in it, and you can't use a whole lot of it because you want to. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? You don't. I wouldn't want to overpower it, and if you put
You'd
too much
overpower it
liquid,
quick.
if you put too much liquid in there, it won't set up anyway. When I'm talking about adding orange juice or Grand Marnier, I'm talking about maybe adding a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half to this pie filling. Breads, yep, I'm with you on the bread. Spinach pie using phyllo dough and feta. Okay, I might have to look that up. I'm not really familiar with what that's going to be. I've never had such a thing. Pork tenderloin, Norm. Yeah, man, I love pork tenderloin. My wife and I both love pork
Yep.
tenderloin. Uh, so apple or cherry. I made one of the recipe, but actually, in fact, most of the time, my favorite way to do pork tenderloin is a video that I did on the Kamado Joe channel, and it was a an Adam Perry Lang recipe where he basically took uh was it I think it was orange marmalade. It was orange marmalade and rosemary, and he mixed those up and put them like in a 9 by 13 dish and set it beside the grill. And as he was searing the pork loin, you constantly take it out, you roll it in the marmalade and rosemary, put it back on the grill, sear it some more, and you're building this flavor as you grill it. And then you take some of what's left over there and you baste it with it when it's done. I've done it with cherry. I've done cherry pork tenderloin. Yeah, Ryan says lamb also. So let me think about lamb. If I'm gonna do lamb for Christmas, I'm probably gonna do lamb chops.
Either that or a rack of lamb.
Yeah, and I've done a rack of lamb video on the Atlanta Grill Company channel already, and because that was one of the first videos I did after I got the PK Go. Man, that grill man, it's a beast at whipping out some a rack of lamb. Because basically, all you got to do to a rack of lamb is sear the outside of it. By the time you get that done, it's ready.
It's good to go.
Yeah.
I said, my rack of lamb is so good, my 6-year-old granddaughter loves it. And when the 6-year-old loves lamb, you know you've done it good.
Well, let me let you in on another thing. I am the only person on either side of the family that'll eat lamb.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I love it though, man.
It's great.
And I also cook lamb. I cook lamb rarer than I cook my steaks.
Mhm.
I keep the lamb on the rare side because it's not a texture issue or anything, but the flavor starts to fall off when you cook that up beyond
Does.
medium rare. It loses its charm, like when you get it too hot. Uh, Gary or Jerry, I hope I pronounced that right. Uh, Butterfly leg of lamb. When I did the leg of lamb, the only leg of lamb video I've ever done was on the Kamado Joe channel, and I butterflied that guy and I stuffed it with caramelized onions and blue cheese. Oh boy, it was good. Uh, if I ever do leg of lamb again, I probably will work with a boneless one simply because it's a lot less work and I'm not really gaining anything but work if I buy the bone in because uh, you got to take the bone out basically to butterfly it and roll it back up anyway. Jeff, have you done leg of lamb?
Yep.
How did you do yours?
I just cooked it whole. I
Uh,
didn't take it off and butterfly it and you know put something in the center because I
so
like my lamb pretty rare.
okay, when you did your leg of lamb, did you stay on the medium rare side or did you take it up to around 200?
No, I stay on the rare side.
Yeah, I think when I cooked my leg of lamb, when I butterflied it and rolled it, I think I went to about 140 inside on that one. I don't think there's two options there. You can go low or you can go high. It's that in between space that you want to stay away from
Hmm.
on the lamb. I'd have to go back and look and see what temperature I cooked that leg of lamb to, but it was delicious. I ate on that thing for 2 weeks after because I was the only one that would eat it. And I bought the leg of lamb at Sam's Club, and for our New Zealand guy, the most of the leg of lamb that I get here at Sam's Club is a product of New Zealand. That's where it comes from. I don't know if I've ever seen any domestic lamb in the meat cases around here.
I haven't.
So Randy's talking about Harry Sue's lamb chop recipe. I like lamb chops, and I was really disappointed last week. I was in Publix, and I really like buying cuts of meat out of Publix meat case. Jeff, if you got a Publix close to you,
Publix is all over the place here because this is
okay,
where the headquarters is.
all right, you can walk in there and they've got cuts in their meat case that you can look at and pick the ones you want, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me blow your mind here for a minute. That's one of the things I love about Publix. But when I went in my Publix last week, guess what? The meat case is gone. That cut meat case where they've got everything cut up, cut where you can look at it and buy the cuts you want is gone. And there's a sign there now that says, "We'll cut anything you want the way you want it. Just ask." Otherwise, I got to buy it out of the meat cooler where it's cut and prepackaged and wrapped.
Mhm.
They don't have that meat case there anymore. And they've still got the seafood case right next to it, but they did away with their meat case at my Publix.
That's happened here. Some of the Publixes have done away with the meat case. I don't know if it's the case of people aren't buying from the meat case; they're going over to the prepackaged stuff, or what the situation is. But typically, they'd never had lamb chops in the
No,
meat case.
well, they've got them in the packaged meat case. They
Right.
didn't keep they didn't keep lamb chops in their display case, but
Right.
they had them and they cut them there. So
I like the ones from Costco. The lamb chops from Costco.
I've
They're
not bought
good.
those, but I will next time. Next time Tanya and I go to Costco, I'm going to get some of theirs. But
Yeah, they're a good
uh,
inch and a half thick, and they cook up really good.
one of the other things I was thinking about doing for Christmas was I uh, when I was in Publix, I asked them several months back what I would like to do basically is a prime rib of pork. But I've got, in fact, I still have one of these in my freezer. Ryan, we talked about goose already. I've put goose on the list, so I can't do a whole hog. I don't have the pit. I need to do a whole hog, so that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to build a cinder block pit just to do one. I'd love to experience that at some point, but I just don't have the right setup to do it. Maybe Jeff, the bark, the 2400 might, it should be big enough to do a suckling pig.
Yeah, you can do the suckling on it. 3600 is a little bit better. You can get a little bit bigger pig on it, but the bark will handle probably. You might be able to throw 30 pound on there.
Yeah.
Might be able to.
Brian, that rack of pork, I've got one of those in my freezer. I bought an extra one last year that's still in my freezer, and I might get that out and cook it and try to do something Christmas related with that because I think that would be a good Christmas cook also. That Jeff, you remember the rack of pork from
Those rack of
Costco?
porks were good. Yeah, those were
Yeah,
really
boy,
good.
and they were cheap. I don't
Yeah,
remember what I paid for them, but they weren't expensive. And I went after I liked the first one I cooked so well. I went back and bought another one because I figured it was going to be seasonal, and it was. They didn't have them throughout the rest of the year. So, Brian, if they've got them back in Costco now, get yourself an extra one and put it away. I do have one of those in my freezer, so I might could. Let me add that to the list of ideas also. Uh, we were talking about a crown roast, and what a crown roast is kind of like a rack of pork that's rolled back around into a circle where the bones are sticking out the top, and you cook that and you fill the crown of it with a stuffing basically, and one of the most popular ones to do is kind of an apple stuffing. Yeah, Brian's got three. He knows how good they are. Those things are crazy good.
crazy
So
good.
yeah, and uh, you basically what you've got that's basically a prime rib of pork, a bone-in prime rib of pork is what you have there. So it's possible. They're slightly Frenched. One of the things I didn't like about them is the Frenching on them where they left the little pieces of the bone sticking out. It's not very clean. I cleaned mine up a little bit more than was provided in the package before I cooked it. And that was one of the cooks I did last winter on the 1060 on the master built 1060, and I ran the 1060 up to about 550 and put it on there, put that thing in there at 550 for 15 minutes or so to brown it up, and then I pulled it out, brought the tip down to 250 and slow cooked it the rest of the way out. Sharon, you should try this. You will not be disappointed. And let me tell you, there's
Definitely.
enough. That rack of pork, Jeff, that thing, how many bones is on that rack? Is it 7 or 8 bones?
7 or 8 bones. Yeah.
It's enough to feed a crowd. It really is. And if I remember correctly, I paid $18 or $20 for that. It was not expensive.
I don't think you
This
paid that
year,
much for it.
this year they might be higher because everything's higher. So uh so what else have you guys got? Any other ideas to think about? I know I'm gonna do the pecan pie that we talked about, and I'm not gonna make this again because I've done it twice already. But my fruitcake, I will repost my fruitcake video sometime soon because I have a very non-traditional fruitcake recipe. I don't like fruitcake because, as I told you earlier, I don't like nuts. My fruitcake's got no nuts in it, but it's a bomb. It's the bomb. My dad, rest his soul, loved my fruitcake. He did. That was, and to get a compliment on my cooking from my dad was a big thing because I never cooked a lot that really impressed my dad.
Well,
My
gee,
mom
John,
likes, huh?
my fruit cake. It's still in the freezer. It's aging from 2017. And let me tell you what, it's good.
My mom makes a fruit cake that everybody seems to love, but I don't like it because it's full of nuts. And my father-in-law loves my mom's fruit cake, so I think he's going to be getting some because my mom's been making fruit cake last week and this week. So, and she's made a instead of making big ones like in a bump pan, she's making them all in small loaf pans where she can share them out with friends.
Well, see, I make my fruit cake at least a year out.
Yeah, so they're better with age.
Far better. Throw it, wrap that thing in saran wrap, and then wrap it in
Yeah.
aluminum foil, and then put it in a Ziploc bag. Throw it in the freezer. Next year, it's
Well,
good to go.
Jeff, I would be really amazingly honored if you would try my fruitcake recipe sometime.
Well, send it to me. I'll try it.
I will. There's a video. I think I did the video on Atlanta Grill Company last December. So uh let's see. Do mine in orange marmalade, orange zest, garlic, oregano, salt, pepper, cayenne, paprika, and full sugar cola marinade. Man, that sounds good.
Mm,
That's making my mouth water.
it does sound good.
Yeah. How are y'all cooking the meat? Weber Smoky Mountain. Which meat are you talking about, Randy? We've talked about a bunch here. Randy's watching with us on YouTube tonight. So, uh, fruit cake with rum. Yep. My
Yep.
fruit cake, I didn't put any liquor on my fruit cake, but that doesn't mean you can't. Maybe that would be a new way to make a third version of my fruit cake. I do have enough dried fruit saved. Buying the dried fruit to make a fruit cake is expensive, and the last time I made fruit cakes, I made sure I saved enough of that in vacuum seal bags and put it away where I'd have enough to do another one.
No, John, it's not expensive. You go after Christmas to get the dried fruit so that you can make
Yeah.
a fruit cake for
Well,
the
it's
next
funny
year.
because Jeff, I live in a part of the world where that stuff is seasonal. If you
It's
don't get
seasonal
it
here.
before, if I don't get it before Christmas, I might not get it at all.
Well,
And
that's the chance you take. But usually
yeah,
we have no problems. You know, we hit a couple stores and we get all the dried fruit we need.
right. Well, I can always mail order it, but I swear I hate mail. Anytime I have to mail order a grocery item, I pay 5 times retail for it.
Yep.
Yeah, Russ, I know what you're talking about. They're wrapping it with a towel, but I would what I would want to do is if I was going to add it to my fruit cake, I would want to put my bourbon or my rum in a spritzer bottle and just kind of mist it. You know, after that thing comes out and after it cools, I would want to mist the top of it with that. And I don't know. Y'all have got me thinking again now that maybe I want to make another fruit cake. Let me add fruitcake to the list. Uh, the problem I've got with this is since I'm doing keto, I can't really eat any of this, but I sure could take it to work with me. Uh,
Sharon, what is a hermit cake?
yes, I was getting ready to say the same thing. What is a hermit cake? That sounds fun, and I don't even know what it is. Uh, Sharon, you're going to have to send me a link to a recipe for that or a video where I can get an idea of what that is. I want to make it just because it's called a hermit cake.
Really?
That's got to be good. So,
See, I'm like Mikey. I try anything once.
yeah. But Jeff, yesterday was I took a cheat day
I saw that. Hey, you
on
deserve it.
my
You've been doing good.
yeah, yesterday was the first. Yesterday ended at 29. I had a 29-day streak of less than 30 grams of carbs a day. So black walnuts. Well, I'd have to leave those out of mine. So yeah, but the tomorrow's weigh-in day, and I'm hoping I'm getting close to the having dropped 30-pound mark. So we'll see. We're
Yeah, we're
working
gonna
on it.
start. We're starting keto Monday. We're gonna do it for
Yeah.
3 weeks before Christmas, and then Christmas, all bets are off.
Yeah. Well, Christmas, I'll definitely have another cheat day on Christmas, but that's another 30
It's
days
going to be a
out.
cheat week. It's not going to be a
Yeah.
day, John.
No, it's going to be a day. I've got to stick with this. I've got to get to my goal. So once I get to my goal, I'll be able to change things up a little bit. So, all right. Well, we've hit the hour and 5 minute mark here. I don't want to run long like we've been running every week. But Jeff, you got anything else you want to talk about tonight? You got
No, next weekend I'm gonna do the brisket on the bark.
Oh,
This is,
did you buy the brisket yet?
no, I'm gonna get it this week, and I'm gonna probably brine it in that marinade,
Yeah.
and
Oh, and yep.
put it out on the bark. I think Saturday or Sunday when we're getting ready to bake 1,000 Christmas cookies, whatever the heck it is we usually bake.
Yeah, Randy, when I cook a lamb, a leg of lamb, it's just a slow cook, low and slow. When I cook lamb chops, it's violently hot and fast.
Yep, and it doesn't take long on the chops or the rack of lamb.
No,
Let me tell you.
they're opposites. I like the lamb chops that are like the T-bone, the
Right,
the
that's the
small,
ones that Costco has.
at
About an inch
least
and a
an
half
inch,
thick.
inch and a half, at least
Yeah.
an inch and a half. I don't want anything any thinner than that.
Now,
But
John, I want you to try something on your lamb next time you do it. Get yourself some McCormick's bruschetta seasoning.
yeah.
Just do olive oil and the bruschetta seasoning. Tell me how you like it.
Okay, I will, but I'll pick some up. I figure a Costco run's in my immediate future because we haven't been down there recently, and it's time for us to go again. So, quick update. I did not hear from the shipping company this week on the steak locker, uh, and it's probably because of the holidays, and it may not have even arrived at a depot here near me yet from the shipping company. But I do expect that by next Friday I will have received that and I'll have it in the house. And when I get that, I'm going to do a walk around demo video of it. And I've been talking with a friend of mine. I've discovered that one of my old high school friends is in the meat processing business. And I've been talking to him this week about what I need for dry aging. And I've done a little research. I actually posted about this on the Man Cave Meals Facebook page today. If you want to have a look, I found the exact number of the cut that I need for a whole ribeye to dry age it. And he's going to help me get that. He's going to be processing some cattle this week, and he said it'll be about three weeks out until it's ready. I think he hangs this stuff for. I don't know much about the beef processing industry, but once they process a steer, it has to hang for a while before it can go, and we'll shoot from there. Brewster's got a question for you, Jeff. Any cooking updates on the mix and smoker? Have you were out of town most of this week,
I was out
right?
of town this week, so I didn't cook on the mixing this week. But yeah, I got to tell you that mix and smoker, that bark, that thing is rock solid. The electronics on it is from Roanoke, Virginia, and they tell you what, it matches temperature per line item per line item on when I throw the fireboard on there. That thing is just rock solid. And everything that I've cooked on that thing has just come out absolutely perfect.
That's awesome. And I'm still hoping I can find a way to get one of those up
Oh, you're
here.
gonna
And
get one.
if I
Trust me.
can, I'm gonna make some extensive video content on that. If I can make that smoker arrive here, you will start seeing probably at least, if not more than half of my video content that comes out. It's going to be coming out on that. I'm really stoked about that. So we'll get some content rolling. Let's watch
Well,
this.
I'll be honest with you, John. You know how I love my Kamado Joes. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a Kamado Joe guy, but if I'm just going to be doing some smoking,
Yeah.
that bark is the ticket.
So, Tanya, you still awake?
I am.
Okay.
Sort of. I mean, I'm watching the Carolina State game.
Yeah.
But I've been paying attention.
They playing football?
They are.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up, so I just wanted to bring you back.
Quick answer
Let me
to
see.
Sharon's question. That's where
Sharon's in Roanoke.
yeah, that's where the electronics are made for the Myron Mixon Wi-Fi controllers.
Yeah. So I'm really stoked with what I've seen on that smoker. I've not cooked on one yet, but I've examined them all firsthand, very close up in a lot of detail on the showroom floor down at Atlanta Grill
Yeah, I
Company.
know. Gary had to wipe the drool marks off the grill when
Yep,
you left.
there was a puddle. I left a puddle right there in front of
You
that
sure did.
2400 last time we were down there. And guys, I've had a lot of pellet smokers, and as far as beef and zest is concerned, I had the Yoder YS 640, and this thing eats the Yoder's lunch.
It
It
does.
everything about this smoker is better than the Yoder. So, Thomas, glad you could be with us.
I mean,
We're gonna shut down.
one of the
What?
nicest things about that Myron Mixon is the exhaust vents are down at the very bottom,
Right,
so it's not exhausting out your hood. So
right.
that's your smoke is doing a nice roll in there, and it's. I mean, you get a beautiful smoke profile out of it.
Tom, I don't know that it would be a much different flavor profile than the Kamado Joe. The Kamado Joe does produce a better smoke profile than most of the other ones I've had. The Kamado Joe produces. I would put it on par with the Traeger Timberline 850 that I had, and the Traeger had the low exhaust on it as well. The Mixon smoker's got the low exhaust, but the Yoder doesn't. The Yoder's exhaust is up high, and I think the lower exhaust keeps the smoke in the smoking chamber better and longer than the ones that have the upper exhaust. So Brewster's getting a pellet, Joe.
You're gonna
That's
like
great.
that. That
Yep,
pellet
you
Joe is
are.
my go-to quick grill.
Yep. I haven't cooked on mine recently, but I still cook on it. Uh, I've been trying to give the Kettle Joe some extra love here lately since they're on sale, and I've got a little bit. I'm a little bit more confident with the Kettle Joe now that I've cooked on it some more. I was not happy with the Kettle Joe's ability to keep a low temperature, but after I put the gaskets on it, I had to cook on it for a while to get those gaskets to settle in. But now that I've got them settled in, it'll hold temperature, and I proved that by running it at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for several hours last week
Yep.
with a controller. So,
It
uh,
definitely needs that gasket material,
yeah,
and hopefully Kamado Joe will see the light and go ahead and put that on in
I'd
the
like to
production
see it.
runs.
I would like to. I don't. Yeah, there was a lot of things I wish that would have made it into the production model of that grill that didn't. But it is what it is. We'll see it. It's an inexpensive grill. And guys, if you're even thinking about a Kettle Joe, they're still on sale for $389 at Atlanta Grill Company. That's $110 off of what they normally sell for. So Brian says he enjoyed his first visit to Atlanta Grill Company. Man, it's crazy.
How much jewel did you leave on the floor, Brian?
Yeah. I try to coordinate my visits when Jeff's going. Jeff and I meet up at Atlanta Grill Company periodically. He's a lot further away from Atlanta Grill Company than I am. I'm only 4 hours away, and Jeff, you're about 8 hours from it,
I'm
aren't you?
8 hours away, but
Yeah,
I usually make it at least once a month.
right. And I did not get down there in November. November was the first month I haven't been down there in a while, but I will get down there in December. Uh, I want to get down there when I sent Gary a text message today, but I didn't get a response from him. I was trying to find out if those fireboard sparks have shown up yet. Because one of the posts I want to do for Atlanta Grill Company next week is I'm going to do a John's Christmas wish list, and I wanted to feature that on there, but if it's not available yet, I don't want to add it to the list, and I didn't get an answer on that yet. But I thought those were supposed to be dropping sometime here within the next few days. So I
Well,
don't
my
know if there's.
barbecue wish list, I can't think of anything on there that I don't have that I need other than at Academy Sports. Have you seen that disc over there at Academy Sports?
I haven't. I think I may have last time I was in there. In fact, what is
That
it
thing is
like
about a
the?
quarter-inch steel,
Yeah,
and it fits. It'll fit on the Big Joe. It's a 24. It's more than 24 inches, but it'll fit on the Big Joe using the walk attachment.
yeah,
That thing is awesome.
right.
That's about the only thing I can say that I could really use.
Okay. Well, Andrew, if Andrew's still with us, I'd like to find out how he felt about the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. I don't know if he's still with us. It may have knocked him out. He may be passed out in his chair. Andrew, are you still with us? I survived it, but I think I probably poured about the same amount I normally pour. I pour a double about every time I pour, so I poured close to 3 ounces, but I probably put a half an ounce of water. Mine probably got about a half an ounce of water to tame it down a little bit. So yeah, I think Andrew's gone. Andrew's
So
passed
John,
out.
on a non-barbecue note, tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'm signing for my 6th Subaru.
Yeah, good deal. Hey Tanya, he's getting one of the Forester Frontier versions,
No, no,
or
no.
not the Forester, the Outback Frontier.
Outback Wilderness, yeah.
Yep.
Not getting the blue. I was supposed to get the blue, and the dealer sold it out from underneath me. So
Tell Tanya what color you're getting.
I'm getting the white, the crystal white.
Okay.
That's the best color. That's the best color. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back next Friday. Uh, I'm working on another guest. I haven't been back in touch with Greg from Ballistic Barbecue yet. I might try to catch him in another week or so, but I've been talking with Ryan Lane at Lane's Barbecue about coming on with me, and he said he would. I've just got to work out when a good time would be for Ryan and I to get on. I don't know if it'll happen before the end of the year or not, but Ryan, if we can get Ryan on here, we can get a lot of insight into the rub business, because Ryan, if you guys haven't tried any of Lane's barbecue rub, Lane's, they're top of the line. Everything they make's amazing. So, yeah, Gary's got a WRX.
Cool.
I like the WRX, but yeah, those are
I
too
also
fast.
like not getting speeding tickets.
Those things
Yeah.
are way too fast. I would get in trouble with the WRX.
No, you can get the scaled down version of the WRX. You
There,
don't have to get. You don't have to get the
that would be
version.
Jeff. I'm not going to buy a Ferrari with a 4-cylinder in it. It's just not going to
All
happen.
right, all right.
All right, guys, y'all have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.